and welcome to another episode of our semi-regular sidebar podcast, hashtag Ramshackle. I'm Andy Lewis, and in this episode, I'll be taking the time to talk to a game designer who, it's fair to say, is a master of the heavy Euro. With a plethora of successful games such as The Gallerist, Vinyos, and On Mars on his CV, I think it's fair to say he knows what he's doing. I am, of course, talking about Vital Lacerda. Welcome to Polyhedron Collider, Lacerda, and thank you for taking the time to join us, Vital. First question, really, whereabouts are you based? Because Ian of the Newport Pagnell Group has basically put us in touch, which is very nice of him. And he's led me to believe you drop in on them from time to time. So does that mean you're local to the UK, or do you just travel a lot?
No, I just travel. And thank you, Andy, for having me here today. Well, I travel to conventions usually. I go to GreedCon. I have some friends living in London, so I go to visit them once a year, and we went together to GreedCon. So, and they are also friends of Ian, so we go to the club and play one evening. It's always a pleasure for me because I'm able to play testing usually my last prototype of the game I'm designing. So. It's always a pleasure to have some Guinness with them. So.
Oh, wonderful! Because I was going to ask you, do you actually sort of throw any play testing at them? So you do get a lot of feedback from them. Because I've played games with them, Ian, as well. Because I go to AirCon, and quite a few of the cons around the UK. So I've met them a few times and played games with them. And he has mentioned that you do play test a few bits.
Yes, usually them, so. I take my last prototype to play test with them. I didn't answer you. I'm settled in Portugal. So I'm
lovely.
2-3 hours away from London. It's a fairly fast flight, so it's not a big deal.
Sure. Wonderful. Whereabouts in Portugal are you based then? Because my partner's actually just been in Portugal. Oh, you're Lisbon. Okay.
Yeah, the game Lisboa that you may know about it's my hometown. So I live here.
Oh, wonderful. You know, it's the one I have pretty much all of your sort of big Evil Griffin games. But Lisboa is the one I haven't played yet.
Oh, really?
All of the others, yeah. I'm told it's wonderful. I've set it out to learn it, but I just haven't got down to actually
People
playing
say
it.
To me that is one of the best, so you should try it if you like my games.
I've heard it. I've heard that as well. Although I have to say, I really like Vinyos and the Gallerist as well. They're two of my favourites. I was told Vinyos was really heavy, and I played it, and I thought it's not actually that bad. It seems to be pretty approachable. You know, for the weight of your game that you usually produce.
People just say that about my games. Sure, they are pretty heavy, but once you play the game once, I don't think they are that difficult to play after that. Ian plays them every time, but they like heavy games. But yeah, I think it's the same with all my games. You played once, you understand the system, and yeah, that's a fairly nice game to play after that, I think. So it's not
I agree. I do think they are. I think I agree with you that they are quite intimidating to start with, but then you've played them once, you think this is actually fine. I mean, I've been playing Inventions quite a lot recently, actually, which I really enjoy. That's the most recent one that we've received. Yeah, I really like it, and I really like the way that there's a lot of componentry to it in that there are different parts of the game, but they all hang together really, really well. So each bit feeds another bit. Trying to explain this to someone for the first time is quite hard, but once they've played through a single round, they're like, this is actually all right. This is quite straightforward, and it all works really well. But then they discover the limitation on the actions, because obviously you can't put a pillar in the same row as a previous one. And then they go, oh, God, this is really hard. But it's wonderful.
I think you enjoy the games. I usually design the games in a way that, of course, you are limited to the things you want to do, but you always find a way to do what you need. So, that's how I like to design the games. Of course, I put all the systems together, and I like to work with the systems like it is only one. For you to get something, you have to go through a bunch of systems to reach the goal you want. But they are all, well, at least I try that they are all together and making some sense in the theme of the game.
Yes.
I don't know if you tried my last game, Speakeasy. People are saying that it's very, very thematic game, and it's quite easy to understand because of that. So, yeah.
I haven't received it yet. I backed it. I'm eagerly anticipating it, but it's still to
Oh,
be
right.
delivered. Yeah, obviously
You are in
because
UK,
Brexit.
right?
I'm in the UK,
That's a
and we, we,
problem to
we,
get
we,
the
we
games.
yeah we chose to self-destruct. So yeah, I'm still waiting for it to be delivered. Annoyingly, I mean I follow you on Instagram. I've seen loads and loads of pictures, and obviously people are reporting on it now. They're starting to receive the Kickstarter,
Yeah, it's good to
and
see people prizing the game. So it's one of the game that I like to. Yeah, it was a good one to make, and I really enjoy to play it. Still with my friends. Some of my friends think that is my best game. Also, let's see what happens for in the future.
oh, I'm really keen to play. I've been looking forward to it now for a couple of years since before the actual the crowdfunding that happened. Because again, yeah, seeing all the images that you were sharing of your play testing and the development
Oh,
of it,
sure, yeah.
it just looked wonderful. Really, really. Is it a big departure from? I'm going to ask you a few questions now, just on
Sure.
how you actually approach game design, because I'm actually fascinated because they all a lot of your games seem to follow the sort of executive action sort of structure, and it seems to be very common in many of your games. I don't think all of them, but many of them. Is that something that you deliberately designed in to start with, or did it kind of evolve over time?
I think it evolved because I designed some of my first games and I just use this system as a executive action that is a free action that you do between your turns or during your turn. And people just start to use the term like it's something that is special from my games. And so I keep using it. And when I say it's executive action, everybody knows that it's a free action right now.
Sure.
So you can do it freely and between, or depends on the rules, of course, but you can do it freely. It's a free action between the main action that you are usually taking. Uh,
Sure.
it-
No,
yeah,
I like it. Well, it does seem to be fairly common through, as I say, many of your games. Yes, you've given it the name, but I think it's nice that you can do it at any point, even before or
well,
in many cases.
it depends. It depends on the rules. For
Yeah.
instance, the last one I released, oh, it's not released, it's on Kickstarter right now, the Great Library, you have two executive actions that you can do, but only at the beginning of your turn. So they are
Ah,
free
okay.
actions. They are free actions. You don't pay for them. You can do it or not. Usually they are optional. That's why we also call them executive actions because they don't have to. You don't have to do it. They are just optional actions that you can do freely if it
Okay.
praises for your game. Yeah.
So you've actually led on to one of the questions I was going to say. I was going to say this for later, but as we're on it, so obviously the Great Library is on Kickstarter right now as we record this. Well, I'm guessing it probably not by the time this comes out, but can you give us a quick rundown just for the listeners of what's involved in the Great Library? So this is your sort of the newest game that's hitting in Kickstarter. Just a quick overview of
Sure,
how it
I've been
works.
doing demos in Essence not many weeks ago.
Sure.
So, yes, the Great Library is about the building of the Great Library of Alexandria. The Great Library of Alexandria is a complex of, well, the Great Library was placed in a complex of buildings that they call the museum, and that's still the word we use nowadays for museums. But at that time, the name was given to honor the nine muses of creativity. So museum uses, so that's the game where the name comes. So one of the generals of Alexander the Great becomes the king of Egypt. I say the king because historian people, scholars didn't find if he should be called king or pharaoh
Yeah.
because he was Macedonian, not Egyptian. So there are no consensus between historians. So, but anyway, the guy became the king of Egypt, but he didn't speak the language. The people didn't respect him, so he had to find a way for the people to respect him. And the way was to bring the great minds of that time to one place. And how should I do that? He thinks to himself. So he had the idea to have all the knowledge in the world in one place, and that is that is the headline of the game. So you are trying to put all the knowledge in the world in one place. That was the Great Library of Alexandria. And that's what you're doing in the game. So you are trying to get training scribes, you are getting manuscripts that you translate and send in by the order of the king, you send to the Great Library. Because the Great Library has so much knowledge, people come to everybody, the scholars, the great minds of that time come from everywhere to live there and study there and develop that areas. We have all the people that we have in the game was known, existed. It was real people that been there or worked there or once visited. And basically that is the story of the game. So he found a way to bring those scholars, and that's what you're doing in the game. By having more scholars, you have more workers, and because you have more workers, you can take more actions. So it's something like as simple as that. So the system is quite simple. We even have arrows on the game to explain that. Just bring the scribes to the school, train the scribes, send the scribes to the scriptorium, translate the manuscripts, send the manuscripts to the great library, and then bring the new scholars. You have more workers, you can keep working on the game. That's how the game works.
Okay. So there's a kind of a loop of
yes,
flow.
It's just like a little bit like Kanban. You have the loop, but you don't have to do it in a same way, right? You have different stages to do it. I don't know if you know Kanban, but Kanban you have to have the blueprints, and then you have to make the cars, then you have to test the cars and the parts, and to upgrade the cars, and then you test the cars. That's a little bit like Kanban. The flow of the game is very simple, but the fun part of this game is not which action I want to take, because you always know the flow is quite simple. It's how do I take those actions. And in this game we have like 5 different ways to take actions. So and you have to take the actions in the more efficient way as possible to keep going on the game. But there is something that is very important in the game, that is time. And everything runs in the game goes around time. And if you run out of time, you have to pass. So you have to manage time all the time because all the actions you take requires some time. And you have to find ways to get some time. You have to find you have to be very, very efficient with the time you have. Otherwise, you have to pass before the other players, and that is not good.
Okay, I understand. Oh, right, that's very interesting then. So, yeah, that's a bit of a departure from some previous games that I can think of anyway. So that sounds really interesting. So I am very keen on that. Obviously, I've backed it on Kickstarter because I'm now pretty much in. No, it's brilliant. I really love your games. And just while on the subject, I mean, it's obviously you've got this really great partnership with Eagle Griffin, Ian O'Toole that does the artwork, and it seems to be this really well-oiled machine now that you've got. You've got your crowdfunder, you deliver 9 months later, and then you bring a new game out, and it all just seems to work really, really well. I mean, I'm a sucker for it now because I really enjoy all of this stuff. I mean, we've got Eagle Griffin who does really great production values. The games always look and feel really, really great.
And they always deliver on time. That is something that is very good for them.
This is the thing. Yeah. It's as I say, it's almost like clockwork.
Yeah.
Is that something that kind of just happened, or is it something that you guys all worked on? How did that sort of partnership come about? Because it just seems to be really good.
Well, we worked together for 10 years, right? And because the time passed, we just adapt to each other, and we can work together well, because 10 years of partnership is a long time for doing the same thing, right, all the time. But it was just a coincidence. In 2015, 10 years ago, 10 years ago, I was looking for a publisher. I was not very well known, and I was looking for a big publisher to publish the Gallerist. I didn't have anyone to publish the Gallerist, and I contacted Rick. It was the CEO at that time of the Eagle Griffin Games, and he just told me that Eagle Griffin was a very small company, so they don't have much people to develop such a heavy game. And I just said to them, don't worry about that. I just want you to produce the game and distribute. I will make everything myself. I will make the rulebook. I will find people. Just give me a budget, and I will give you the game ready. And that's what we did. Because we had I had a lot of coincidence by that time, because Paul Grogan, that made some of my rulebooks, was looking for leaving his job and start to looking rule books and what he does now very well. And I received a very nice email from Ian O'Toole that was neither known at that time that he would like to make a game with me, but he doesn't know, he didn't know how. And I said, right, I'm just looking for someone to translate to translate my rulebook and someone to make the art of the Gallerist, because I promised a game ready to Eagle Griffin, and we put this together with the three of us, and we delivered the game to Eagle Griffin the games, and they ran the campaign at that time. Was okay, it was good. So and I keep going, and we keep making games together. It was just, when the stars align together and everything happens. So that's what happened.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to think that the story of PHC is a similar idea, but yours is far more glorious. My friend Stephen, who started Polygon Collider, we used to work together all in the same company many years ago now. And one evening in the pub, he decided with his wife that he wanted to start our podcast. And he, after a few beers, I think he plied me and made me quite malleable, and just decided, right, Andy, you're quite good at talking. You're opinionated. How do you fancy doing a podcast? So yes, I do. And here we go. And 10 years later, we're still going somehow. So
there are partnerships that last, right? So that's good to know. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, we've brought people on board as well, and everyone's got a different opinion, which is what we really like, because it gives us something to talk about. Because everyone has a different opinion on a game. Everyone has different tastes, and I think that's a really important thing to talk about, within the hobby, that not everyone likes the different things, so there's always someone within our audience that will latch on to something that one of us has said, which is great. So we get a lot of engagement that way. But no, that's a wonderful story. Just coincidence that four of the I suppose now fairly well-known people, because Ian's got a huge number of games that he's drawn
just
art
don't
for.
Stop working. I remember that time he made the Gallerist like in 3 weeks. He sent me everything from the Gallerist 3 weeks. Right now I have to book him in 1 year ahead to make the next game. So we already have, for the next game that I'm finishing now, many people knows about it. Not many people knows about it. That will be called The Resort. It's a game about running a resort. I already booked with him at Essen for being the art done for the next year at Essen. So it will be 1 year from now to have a space from him.
Wow, yeah,
it's
I was
really
say,
busy
that's
right
going
now.
to be, that's presumably going to be released in, I guess, 2 years now, because obviously you've got 1 year before the crowdfunder and then another year for the
exactly.
Goodness me.
Hopefully next year will be the crowdfunding, and then on the next year. Yeah. So I'm already since 2023 making a game that will be released in 2027, maybe 2027. Yeah, that's 4 years. 4 years to make a game.
So you've always got something in the works then, presumably.
Yes.
That's awesome. Do you have a specific sort of design process that you follow? Obviously now you've been doing this for 10, 12 years or more. Do you have a system, or do you just go, right?
Well, all the games are different, right? But I follow a system usually. The work is always the same, Well, it's different because the games are different, but the system is always the same. I work in advertising for a long time. I work in advertising for 15 years, and I adapt the systems there that I use to get today. That's exactly the same I use to make heads to make a campaign, heads in a campaign. That's exactly the same system. I research right now. It's what I do is I research for a team that I like. I have many teams that I like, but then I choose one. I research for a team that I like. I work a little bit. I make a research during a few weeks or months. It depends. And then I send all of that research to the shelf for a while. And I still keep working on another game. But usually then I pick it up again to see if it really works. And after that, it's just making a prototype, starting to play testing after that. I usually have a goal immediately, and what I do usually in the first playtesting is to look for the core of the game, so the base, how the game will be sustained, and what is the goal that I want to achieve. Usually it's after the team, and then because I want to achieve some different things in each game, thematic things that I want to achieve. I look for mechanisms that can work together to do that. So,
Sure.
and then it's playtesting, playtesting, playtesting. I playtest many times a week in Discord online. My Discord has so many people, like 2,000 people, so I always have people to playtest. And
Wow.
I playtest a lot, like 3, 4 times a week, sometimes more. And during a year, that's what I do. So I play test, I don't like, I change, I play test again. That's the system. It's just like, I don't know,
Yeah, yeah.
1% of sweat and 99% of work. That's it. So yeah.
That sounds like a good ratio. I mean, I know a few games designers. I'm good friends with Frank West, who does all of the City of Kings and all of the his Isle of Cats games and stuff.
Yes.
Have done quite well. And his I know his methodology is very intense as well. He does so much play testing, and he won't release until he's very happy with the game, which to me makes sense. And we do seem to be of the same
Yeah,
mind
you
on that.
need, because you have so many people playing in a different way, and people just think in a different ways, right? And so sometimes people just find a system that is broken. It just simply doesn't work, and the game is, you can always win by doing that stuff. And only playtesting will see if that happens, because any designer, you cannot think about it. You cannot think about all the options that you have in a game and how to play. So it's just playing with many different people that can balance well a game, I think. So
Definitely. I mean, there's always going to be someone who finds something wrong.
yeah, and for sure you should play test with different people, not always with the same group. You should have a developer group that you play together many times, because well, they know the system and try different things. But usually I even make tables for the next table, for the next Saturday. I have a table with only new players. So players that never played it, I ask for this, I explain the game, and then they just play together. And then after that, we have the blind testing, where we just make the rule book, send the rule book to certain players that never played the game, and see if they can play well together. We have then, that takes a long time, the production phase, where Ian sends the art to Eagle Griffin, they make the prototypes, they send it to the reviewers, they send them back to me to approval. It takes a long time to make a board game. It takes a long time to make a
Yes.
board game.
No, indeed. I mean, I remember, 10 years ago, games were sort of produced in sort of 6 to 12 months, and now it seems to be more like 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Just the way that things have developed, and people have obviously learned, what works, what doesn't. The quality of production has gone
Yeah,
up.
yeah, and the games have more pieces, are more complex
Yeah.
right now. People is looking for more complex things. They like to have a lot of stuff in the box. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It takes longer
I
to
mean,
do
there's
this.
especially for miniatures involved. Goodness me, yeah. So obviously, things go off to China, and all of the plastic molds are made, and it's
sure.
a very involved process. But I do find it quite fascinating from someone I've worked in an engineering environment basically all my professional life. So I do find that side of thing quite fascinating, and all that kind of thing. Because obviously, people with different backgrounds don't necessarily appreciate just how involved these things can be from just a fabrication point of view more than anything else. So why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? Well, cost for one, practicality.
Sure.
It is quite an involved process.
The same
I do
with
find it
game
very interesting.
design. Sometimes people just say, why don't you just place these pieces there? It's much easier. Well, because I tried and it doesn't work,
Doesn't
it
work.
just doesn't work. It's very easy to play once and just say things about the game that, well, we play tested, and for sure. If
Yeah.
we didn't place it, it's because it didn't work. So, yeah.
That's good that you've thought about it, and because we do. I mean, we asked you. I remember for Weather Machine, which I love. It's a great game. I'm terrible at it, but I really love it. About the workshop element on the side, and we did comment on our podcast. But you were good enough to explain exactly what happened, and we went, yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, because we knew there'd be a good reason for the way it worked. Yeah, okay, fair enough. That sounds good. Do you have any sort of favourite games yourself, or any sort of influences that you draw from? Because I've spoken to Jamie Stegmaier in the past, and he really loved Solken. It's one of his sort of favourite games, and he's taken a lot of inspiration from it, and I now own it because of that, and I really love it as well. It's one of my favourite games. So Do you have any sort of influences or favorite games
Sure.
that you potentially draw
When
from?
I start designing games because of Martin Wallace. Those were the games
Yes.
I don't know, 2007, 2005 probably, that I was playing the most. Age of Steam is one of my favorites still today. Brass is my favorite game ever. I don't know if I play Brass like 500 times probably.
Wow.
Yeah, we just playing cards basically. For me, Brass
Yeah.
is I'm playing cards.
Yeah.
So yes, I have a big influence from Martin Wallace games. I like the history part he plays in the games. That's where the team usually come, and of course the heaviness that he places on the games. He always have, most of his games have shared mechanisms between the players. You know, with Brass, once you have the call, everybody can take the call out, and you can use. So I like that kinds of mechanisms. I like how he integrated the team, and I still following his thoughts in the beginning. And yeah, it's one of the designers that influenced me a lot. My first design was just for play a map of Age of Steam, the Portugal map of Age of Steam. Yes, so
I love that.
But I have other games. I have other games that I love and I still play. I have other designs that I look for to play all the time. All the school from Italian designers, I love all of them because they are really good. They are really very, very good designing games. Their games are always well designed and very good. Stefan Feld is also one of my favorite designers. I'm trying to integrate dice in my games, but I can't because Stefan Feld is the genius who integrates the dice very well in all his games, right? The Great Library has dice for the first time. I took a risk.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And you roll some.
Me.
You roll some.
Wow. Oh,
But,
goodness me.
yeah.
What are you doing to us? I have to admit, I mean, I'm a big fan of Martin Wallace myself. I love Brass. I really like London as well. His game
Oh,
about
I
from
also
poverty
like
in
London. I have
really clever game.
just a space for all his games. I was a
Oh,
fan
wow.
of Three Frog. He has a company called Three Frog, and he has numbered games that he sold every year, and I had all of them. So yeah, I still have them.
Oh,
with me.
amazing!
That's my collection.
I had a good chat with him at Expo actually this year. He was there with his obviously his own company now, Martin Wallace Productions, because he's released the Fighting Fantasy Adventures game. So if you're obviously old enough, men of a certain age as we are, when we played, the Fighting Fantasy books.
Yes.
If you want to talk tonight, turn to page 121, do this. So he's turned a few of those into a card-based adventure game, and we played it a couple of months ago now, just after Expo, and it is absolutely amazing. We really, really love it. It's a great implementation. The artwork in it is amazing. He was talking to me about that he spent apparently quite an obscene amount of money on the artwork. But yeah, it is. But every single card is different. Every single card looks amazing. And it's a great little implementation of something obviously very nostalgic to many gamers, because it's kind of what we grew up on back in the 80s, when these things were around. So, no, I've a great love for Martin Wallace games. I get just like you, I like Brass and London and Age of Steam. I really enjoy. It's a great game.
Yeah. It's
brutal getting money out of that game. It's really hard. But once you're used to it, it's a great game. And of course he's released Steam Power as well recently, which is a slightly lighter version.
It's a very light version. I have the game.
Yeah. No, we played it just after Expo actually earlier this year. I have a mixed relationship with Stefan Feld, I have to admit. I really like Castles of Burgundy. That's a great game.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite games also. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a really, really tight little game. It works really, really well. Although his later stuff I don't necessarily get on with, but my colleague Rory at PhD, he really, really likes.
Well, he makes games for a long time, right? It's very difficult to have a great game every year. It's
true.
Well, we cannot. I don't know. I call for myself. It's very difficult to expect from the same designer a great game every year. I don't know.
No, that's fair. That's fair. We've recently played, is it Druids of Edora? I think it is.
I didn't play that. Really well. I have it. I didn't play it yet. I will try to play it next week or so, yeah.
I haven't played it myself, but yeah, Steve and Rory and our team here have... They both really enjoyed it. Really, really liked it. It's quite simple. Literally sort of a dice placement, as obviously is what he does. But it's quite straightforward mechanically. But there's a lot to think about, and there's a lot of ways to score points. So you need to think about there's area control, action selection, resource management. So it's always got all the classic stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm led to believe it's very good, so I'll have to give it a try at some point. One thing I have to do, actually, is ask you, is Sandra based on a real person? And why is she so mean?
Well, she's not mean. She had to be mean in that game. So, right, she had to be mean because she's bossy. She's the boss of the factory.
She is.
Well, but she's a real person. She's my wife, so she's not me.
Okay.
So, but I place it in different games already. She's on Escape Plan, I think. She's on other games. I even though the resort that I'm making now, she's a tourist guide. So, she changes a lot for different games. I make her what the game needs her to do, to be, right? So it's what I do with her. And I'm sure she's right now it's an element that I have in some games, and many people knows her name, right? So you know the name of my wife.
That's fantastic. That's a wonderful story. I mean, leading on from that was obviously because you've included her in Bot Factory.
Yes, Bot Factory. It's the same as Kanban.
Which is based on Kanban, and you've got House of Fardo, which was released earlier this year, which is based on the Gallerist. I mean, they are, and you've got is it House of Mercado
Lisboa. Yes, Mercado Lisboa.
That's the one. Yeah. Yes. And those three games are I affectionately known as sort of mini Lacerdas because they are smaller and lighter and more approachable than your bigger games, but they take wonderful elements from each of the parent games, as it were. And they've gone down really well with my gaming group. I really love them. I think Bot Factory is an amazing game. It's a wonderful, wonderful, tight game based on... it's great. I really, really enjoy it. My partner loves it as well. It's one of the games that we kind of introduce newer gamers to slightly heavier games. They're still approachable. They're still playable. It's still really easy to understand. But there's a lot to think about. I think they work really well. So do you have any more that you're working on?
I do.
Excellent.
That kind of game I made with a friend of mine we call Quintela, João Quintela. He's on the side of the family games, and of course I'm not. And if we get together to make a game, usually the game is much lighter because he wants to put that side of his on the game. And we are taking parts from my biggest games, and the idea is that to pull people to try the heavy games after they play that, because they play those because most of the rules are similar to the heavier ones where I take the mechanism. So you just have to, I don't know, as you said in the beginning, people is just a little bit concerned about playing one of my games because they think the games are so difficult and not approachable. That's not true. If you play the Bot Factory or Mercado Lisboa, it's a small step to the heavy ones.
I agree.
That.
Yeah.
But I have one. I designed another one that is called Santa Justa. Santa Justa is an electric elevator in downtown Lisbon. It's very beautiful. So you are building Santa Justa elevator. People say that it was made by a disciple of the Eiffel, the architect who made the Eiffel Tower. So Eiffel, and. It was one of the first street elevators in Portugal, I think in the world even. But anyway, you are building it, but it's not taking from any other game. It's just a smaller 1 hour, maybe 1 hour game.
That
I'm making with Quintela also. Well, it has a mechanism that I really like, that you can pull it a little bit from On Mars. Because you have different characters, and each character has one side and has two sides. So meaning that if you take an action in the left side, you do an action, but if you go to the other side, you take a different action from the same character. This means that if the pawn or if the character is on the left side, you have to take that action. You cannot take the other. And if it is on the other side, you have to take that action. You cannot take the other. So the pawn is moving one side to the other, depending on the players who take those actions. So and blocking some actions for you. Maybe that's the similar or the only similar part to On Mars. After that, it doesn't. It's a city building game. So.
Sure. Oh, it sounds fantastic. So, are you doing that with Eagle Griffin, or is that going to be a different publisher?
Yeah, I'm sure. I do all my games with them, so it's not a.
It works.
It works, and they want the game, so it's good. I don't have to.
Brilliant.
I don't have to pitch the game anymore. You know, it's good for me. I don't lose time to go to conventions just to pitch games. I just have the publisher that wants my games. I go to the conventions to do demoing the game. That's much more pleasant than
Oh, brilliant. Do you go to conventions just as Vital Lacerda then, rather than as game designer Vital?
Yeah.
So you just go as a punter?
I think I put both together, you know.
Okay,
because usually when I go to a convention, I love to go to conventions, and I'm a gamer. I'm also a gamer. I play every week. And with my friends, I have a few groups, heavy gaming groups that we play together. We also play tests sometimes. But usually I go to conventions and I don't know, the convention is like 3 days. One of the days is just for me to play games, and the other 2 days is to play testing, you know? So I mix both together. I don't have just go there just to play testing, demoing. Well, Essen is like that, but usually if I go to conventions like the ones I go to Portugal or the GridCon, for instance, in England, I just go there just to play games and win one day, and the other day is to play testing. So I mix both. It's work and pleasure. So yeah.
Brilliant. It's like me when I go on our field trips as well, because I do quite a lot of conventions in the UK for Polyage and Collider, and sadly the guys can't always go because of family commitments and various bits and bobs, so I end up sending obviously lots of photos. So whilst I'm there kind of representing us, it is still just fun to meet the people in the community, catch up with friends and stuff. They're always great times. I really enjoy them. So we always want to go to more, but there's only so much time and money in the world that we can afford, unfortunately.
Right.
It's a shame.
We cannot be everywhere.
They're always great.
Otherwise, I also have a family, so I like to be at home once in a while, right?
Yes, I'm sure your children want to see their dad now and again. Yeah.
Well, they are not children anymore, but yeah, it's okay to be here. And I like to be with Sandra. She's not that mean.
Does she keep you running on time? Is she your project manager?
Yeah, more or less. Sometimes I ask her to do that for me, yes.
Oh, that's good to know. No,
yeah, we are together for, I hope she doesn't listen this, 26 or 27 years, 26, I think. I hope she doesn't listen this. So, yeah, we are together. We are married to 25 years old, 26 years, and we been together for more than 30. So, yeah, we are.
That's amazing. Oh, wow. My dad always used to say, because they were together 20 odd years as well before sadly they've broken up now, but my dad always used to say you get blessed for murder, but
blessed for murder.
Well, on that note, I think when the time is running out, unfortunately, sadly I have places to be, and I'm sure you
I will have a meeting after this, so yeah. With Eagle Griffin, they are waiting for me to finish the interview.
Well,
so.
I definitely don't want to hold that off. No, that's in my own interests to let you to go to that meeting, because I'm eagerly anticipating the next one. So, thank you once again for the opportunity for talking to you. It's been wonderful. They say don't make your heroes, but I've met one, and I've been very, very impressed.
Thank you. Very kind.
Thank you.
It was
Vital.
a pleasure, and to meet you also. So.